Cactv, igniting the
She will carry that kind of efficiency that I've noticed over the years. That is the context in which I was speaking, Mr. President. But not only that, I discovered that she's probably the youngest nominee and also a female. And I think that with this kind of personality, all of us will start appreciating that probably it's time for us to start getting into retirement, because strong, ebullient characters like this are coming into the polity. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
The civil senator, Sani Musa, I know what Asukwa wants to say, so that's why I'm avoiding him.
Thank you, Mr. President, sitting as chair. My distinguished colleagues, my name is Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East. Nominee, I can see you have a very wonderful CV. And I'm happy that during the pandemic, you were a commissioner in Cross River State. And during that period, it came as a surprise, a big surprise and a big blow to our health sector. Seeing what happened between 2019 to 2021, 2022, when the pandemic was being able to be tackled, what kind of ideas will you bring on table for Nigeria in the health sector to be sure that if anything like that will come again, we'll be able to face it, especially in area of research for vaccines? Thank you.
Please, because she's going to answer questions. He has just asked a question. If anybody wants to make a speech that has to do with accolades, please, you suspend until she answers the real questions. Yes, so this was Senator Jaribe. You wanted to answer questions. Is it? Okay, so you speak last. Senator Ningi.
Mr. President, my name is Senator Ningi, and I represent Bauchi Central, Bauchi State. Mr. President, my question to Dr. Betta. First of all, I would like to, I'm delighted that she's back in Nigeria after studying abroad. But doctor, you will notice that over 60% of Nigerians made doctors that this country has produced are no longer in our shows. And you have been away, you studied abroad, and you have seen doctors working abroad, and you are back here, and you have seen our doctors working. What will you now say is the reason for most of these doctors leaving? And what will you advise the government going forward? Right now, our doctors are also on strike. How do we make sure that you make our doctors stay in, work for the benefit of Nigerians, and then making sure that the doctors also don't go on strike? When doctors go on strike, it means clearly loss of lives at every given time. If you are made a minister, what do you now tell the president? If you are made a minister in health or in any other ministry, because you are a doctor, what ideas are you bringing to the fore, on the table, in making sure particularly people don't leave this country for other countries to practice? Thank you.
The two Senator Idiot.
The President of the Senate, sitting as chair. My name is Idiat Oloroti Adebole, representing the good people of Lagos West. Dr. Betta, I want to congratulate you. Congratulations on your nomination. However, I have this question for you. We are in a world where social entrepreneurs and non-governmental organizations are increasingly and significantly getting involved in the development of urban communities. How well are you going to use your office to make sure that the majority of our women are part of this development of the urban communities? Particularly, as our woman leader in the past, and you have done a very wonderful job being a woman leader, this is another opportunity for you, this is another call for you to put the women appropriately to where they should belong. If you look at the 3 tiers of government, you will realize that we have very few women who are part of governance or government. How best are you going to also use your office to ensure that we have many women in position of responsibility in this country? We have what it takes to be there. We have everything that it takes for women to be up there. How best are you going to continue? I use the word continue purposely. Are you going to continue to ensure that we are where we should be? Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you. Affirmative action.
Distinguished Senator Osita Ngo.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Osita Ngo. I am here on behalf of the people of Enugu West. Congratulations, nominee, for what you have achieved at a very young age. I think the youths of Nigeria should be very proud of you. I ask you just one question. The National Health Insurance Scheme has been existing for more than 15 years, but so far we have about 10% coverage. What do you think, or how would you, assuming your portfolio is in health, how do you think this can be extended to cover more of Nigerians? And how would we make healthcare service affordable to Nigerians? Thank you very much.
Distinguished Senator Yari.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm Abdulaziz Abubakar. I represent people of Zamfara West. Mr. President, I'm from Zamfara State. My distinguished colleagues, congratulations, nominee. Looking at your CV, Doctor, I believe strongly you are at bat with the situation of our health institution. Being a commissioner of health from Cross Rivers, not only being a commissioner from Cross Rivers, being a chairman or chairperson of commissioners in Nigeria, I believe you have a forum that you are discussing issues regarding the health. If your portfolio goes to Ministry of Health, what do you intend to do on area of university teaching hospitals, and relation between the university teaching hospital, state hospital, and private hospital, and issue of industrial strike in the area of health sector? One, federal medical centers in the state almost we have having it everywhere. And if you look at the remuneration of the federal government and remuneration of some of the states are not equal. How do you intend to intervene? Because my little experience in the governance, when we are paying remuneration of the health workers in the states, and before we realize it, both the medical doctors and nurses transfer their service back to the federal medical center and leave the state hospitals empty. How do you intend to work with the state, federal government, private practitioners, and see how we can harmonize their remuneration so as that we can have a better health delivery in that sector? One. Two, most of the services you knew in abroad given, if you look at it in Nigeria, to some extent, you will be a kind of disappointed. Not that we don't have an intelligent physicians, intelligent doctors, but we are lacking on infrastructure and equipment. In that regard, what do you intend to bring on board to support the health sector to improve in terms of having equipment to work and bringing our doctors like you there in abroad coming back home to serve Nigerians? Thank you very much.
The last but not the least question, Sadiq, Senator Sadiq, you've been raising your hand. Yeah, is it accolade or question? Is it accolade or question? No, if it's accolade, I'm reserving that for the last. Let her answer the questions first before I go to Senator Sukwa and Senator Jaribe. Is it a question?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, Doctor, congratulations. I have a very simple question for you. You are aware, I know you know, that the maternal mortality rate in Nigeria is about 570 per 100,000 live births, correct? And that's the fourth terrible in the whole world. We are fourth. And we know globally the best point of taking care of healthcare delivery is at primary care level, all over the world. For any healthcare system that is successful, the secret is in primary healthcare level. What will be your plan in case you are assigned to the health ministry for the primary healthcare system in this country? Thank you.
So, but I think you should answer those ones, and then if others have. You were prepared for today, right? Go ahead.
Thank you very much, the President of the Senate and distinguished senators, for those wonderful questions. It's a reflection of the commitment of everyone in this Senate to see an improved healthcare system in Nigeria. Indeed, Nigeria should be headed at the speed of light to achieve universal health coverage. That means healthcare for all, irrespective of whether they have the money, they are from any tribe, or they belong to any religion. They should, wherever they are, be able to have access to quality healthcare. For us as a country, we have challenges that stare us in the face, beginning with governance and leadership of the health sector, fragmentation, duplication, wastage of funds, poor coordination amongst key players in the health sector. Nigeria suffers right now from what they call the Japa syndrome, where doctors and other health workers are leaving the country in their drones. The World Health Organization recommendation is that we should have 1 doctor to 600 patients. But in Nigeria, it's basically 1 doctor to 5,900 patients, let's say 6,000, which is completely unacceptable and cannot give us a reliable health system. We just went through a pandemic, which probably should have been a great window of opportunity to fix our health sector, but it was not fully utilized. Like you said, 60% of Nigerians, of course, pay out of pocket, and they look forward to a better, more functional health system. What should we be advising and working with our very, very strong, politically conscious president to see that we achieve in the health sector? Number 1, I think the beginning of the problem is governance. We must get the right governance and the right structure from the top all the way down to the health facilities. Who are those manning it? Who are the managers? Who are the planners? Is it properly planned? And what are those adjustments and streamlining that needs to happen? Like a distinguished senator rightly said, there are federal medical centers everywhere. There are teaching hospitals everywhere. How functional are they? What quality of service can they offer? As it concerns the health workers that are leaving, a couple of things can be done. Number 1, we can change the payment structure for health workers to see that they get better incentives and they can stay on. They are leaving because probably a country like Saudi Arabia promises a greener pasture, and that's why they're leaving. Number 2, we can make the environment more conducive for them to stay so that they can thrive and deliver their health services. Number 3, it's important for us to create another structure where health workers can be employed outside the direct structure that we have now. In the United Kingdom, I'll give you an example. You have the doctors who are on locum and they still work in the NHS, and you have the doctors who are employed by the NHS directly. So some are employed through agencies and then some directly. This way you can sip in every single health worker from wherever they are. We need every one of them. I would also want to suggest that as a matter of urgency, our medical institutions across the nation should be improved to train more health practitioners that will go into the system. Beyond this, it's important for Nigeria as a country to concentrate on our health insurance. I'm very happy and I'm very thankful to this legislative house that you were able to pass the bill to make health insurance mandatory for all Nigerians. Everyone should contribute the little, and we all share the risk and we share the benefits. That way, we can offer free health care to pregnant women and children under 5. That will reduce maternal mortality and reduce under 5 mortality. That way, we can reduce catastrophic expenditure that have sent several families into poverty. I would want to go to the question on the women. Nigerian women need empowerment at all levels, beginning from the grassroots all the way up. I'm very proud of Mr. President that he was able to appoint into his cabinet a good number of women, which is the first start. We want to use this opportunity to plead with the legislative arm that bills that will support and protect the Nigerian women should scale through in the 10th Assembly. That way it provides a legal framework for women to increase our participation in politics, governance, and leadership. I'll speak briefly on the poor health services, and I would round up at that point. Primary health care is the foundation of any health system in any country, and that's the closest health system to Nigerians, where they live, where they work. And except we fix the primary health care, we cannot achieve universal health coverage. The government, working with the legislative arm, have provided the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. We want that, private sector participation, and indeed, all our development partners to come on board to see that Nigerian primary health care is completely functional, and that will go into the secondary, the teaching hospitals, and specialist hospitals to offer care. Thank you very much, the Senate President and distinguished members.
Distinguished Senator Azuko Ekpeyon.
Good evening, distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, my name is Azuko Ekpeyon, Senator representing Cross River South. But on this occasion, I'm not speaking just for Cross River South. I'm speaking for my secondary constituency, the young Nigerians. Dr. Betta Edu is a bona fide constituent of mine in that regard. At just 36 years old, she's just about a year younger than me. We served together in the Cross River State Executive Council. She was Commissioner for Health, I was Commissioner for Finance. No.
Are you saying that
out of the coronavirus pandemic, we worked closely where she was the chairman of the COVID-19 task force and I was the secretary. She's extremely brilliant, very dogged, unwavering on any task that is given to her. She will accomplish it at any time. I want to say that everyone here, at least on this side of the aisle, all 59 of us know and recognize her as a young woman leader. On the other side,
we have actually demonstrated youthfulness in the way you address us. We, your colleagues, we are now ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished Senator Jaribe.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm Jaribe, the leader of the caucus, Cross River State Senators Caucus. The nominee before us is a true Cross Riverian, and hers, in this case, is just a case of Rep. Sister Lukito. The fact speaks for itself. Going through her CV and how she has adumbrated in response to all the questions put forward to her, I want to crave the indulgence of the Senate that my nominee and our nominee from Cross River State takes a bow and goes. Thank you.
The distinguished Senator Father Honsi, I don't think you have any other thing to add. So because it is the consensus of the Senate that you have answered the questions. If you have answered them well, you will hear on the day of confirmation. But if you did not answer them well, you will also hear from us. So you may now take a bow.
The 13th, in general, a medical doctor, former commissioner for health, Cross River State. She's a public health specialist. Dr. Betta Edu, until her appointment, is the national women leader of the All Progressives Congress. In fact, she's the youngest nominee so far. Well, Dr. Betta Edu has explained that if confirmed, she will contribute immensely in the development of health infrastructure in the country. She's particularly interested in universal health coverage. The next nominee is Imam Suleiman Ibrahim. Imam Suleiman Ibrahim from Nasarawa State is former Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking Persons, NAPTI, from December 2022 till 27 May 2021, when former President Muhammadu Buhari announced a swap, and she was redeployed as the Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and internally displaced persons.
Ministerial nominee from Nasarawa State, North Central Nigeria. I stand before you today with a deep sense of commitment to duty, a devoted public servant, a selfless daughter of Nigeria, and also an advocate of the well-being of our people and the advancement of our great nation. I am deeply honored and humbled by the trust and confidence reposed on me by our CNC, His Excellency President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Through the nomination to this enviable height of the ministerial position of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I am grateful for the opportunity to see it as an honor to be considered to serve our country in a capacity that aligns with my life ambition, which is the pursuit for peace, progress, and prosperity of this country. My life and career journey has been guided by a passion for public service and a profound love for our beloved country. Born and raised in Nigeria, I have been fortunate to receive a comprehensive education, including a degree in sociology from the University of Abuja. Subsequently, I earned 2 postgraduate degrees in business administration and management from Webster University, St. Louis, Missouri, their London campus, thus solidifying my expertise in this field. As part of my unending quest for continuous professional development, I went to the National Institute for Security Studies for the Advanced Management Intelligence course, which earned me the Fellow of Security Institute. I'm currently undergoing a doctorate degree with the thesis in Security and Strategic Studies at the prestigious Military University, the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna. May I kindly state that transverse critical public sector institutions that promote human capital development, safeguarding human dignity, and supporting the vulnerable and persons of concerns in Nigeria. I have served as a special advisor on strategic communication with the Minister of State for Education, contributing my expertise to advance educational policies and initiatives. Additionally, I played an instrumental role as a member of the Nasarawa State Economic and Investment Advisory Council, contributing to the overall state socioeconomic development and resilience building. My dedication to humanitarian causes and social progress is evident in my contribution as the DG NAPTIP, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. During my short stay at the agency, I worked assiduously to strengthen its internal framework, and I repositioned it for an enhanced service delivery of its mandate. Amongst others, the initiative I championed led to upgrading Nigeria from the Tier 2 watch list, which attracts sanctions, to Tier 2, second to the highest ranking by the U.S. Trafficking Report. It is my honor to highlight to this distinguished gathering that in my current role as the Honorable Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, I've continued to lead a progressive agenda and a strategic roadmap tagged the Project 5S. The strategic roadmap is an ambitious intervention designed to tackle critical challenges facing persons of concerns and the vulnerable group of persons in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Some of the key achievements based on the implementation of the strategic roadmaps was the passage of the NCFRMI Act of 2022 into law by the distinguished National Assembly after over 14 years of attempt. The feat attained would not have been achieved without the collective collaboration of the National Assembly, and this effort remains commendable. as the law strengthens the national action for protection and assistance of persons of concern in our beloved country. The Commission also now has a credible and sustainable framework as a national action plan for resource mobilization to implement a series of activities. Distinguished members of the Senate, if confirmed as a minister, my vision is deeply rooted in strengthening systems of protection for the vulnerable, promoting human capital development, supporting efforts aimed at national cohesion and sustainable peace building, and fostering an inclusive society that leaves no one behind in our journey towards a prosperous, united Nigeria. Through collaborative partnership, evidence-based policy making, and relentless commitment to transparency and accountability, I am dedicated to leading a transformative effort that will empower our people, and future generations, which, in actualizing Mr. President's renewed hope agenda. Mr. President, when confirmed as minister, I look forward to engaging in a constructive collaboration with the National Assembly, drawing from your wealth of experiences and perspective to craft policies that uplift our nation and its citizens. I seek your support, endorsement, and I'm committed to being steadfast in my dedication to duty for the advancement of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, sitting as chair. My name is Mohammed Ogoshionao. I represent Nasarawa South. The nominee before you, or before this chamber, is a seasoned administrator, seasoned civil servant, a self-made woman, very determined to achieve, that has touched the lives of many. Without saying much about her, the three of us from Nasarawa State are unanimous in endorsing her for confirmation. I would love to urge this Senate to please spare her the necessary questions and allow her to take a bow to go. Thank you very much.
Senator, distinguished Senator Babangida.
Thank you, Mr. President and Chair of this distinguished colleagues. I'm Babangida Hussaini, representing the good people of Jigawa Northwest. Colleagues, I have 4 local governments that border Niger Republic. And I want to know from the nominee if she has had the opportunity of traveling to Agadez in Niger Republic. If she has, what will she do if perhaps Mr. President finds it expedient to appoint her as the Minister for Women Affairs? And I believe, having served as the DG of NACTIP, she knows the matter I'm raising, the issue of our young girls living and practically dying in Agadez in their attempt to cross the Sahara Desert into Europe. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, colleagues.
Distinguished Senator Darlington.
Thank you, Mr. President of the Senate and dear colleagues. My name is Darlington Nwokocha. I represent entire Nigeria, but I speak for Abia Central in particular. My dear sister, please, I want to pick just an item from your resume. The first paragraph, you say current position of service, and you say Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, 2021 till date. I'm concerned about the internally displaced persons because
For 8 years plus, I've been in the National Assembly, the Green Chamber, and I know often and not, we always hold 1 minute silence. And this has to do with people, either they have been slaughtered, 1, 2 persons, or several persons, and at the end of the day, they will take their children to these IDP centers. Also, I know quite well that these people in IDP centers, I have attended, I've been a member of ad hoc committees where issues that borders around diverting the materials that's supposed to get to them for their own use, people that are internally displaced by internally well-placed people. And at the end of the day, these reports keep coming. I want to find out, how many IDP centers do we have? How many of them have good quality education for those children that are displaced? Because I know quite well that it's not out of their making. The psychomotor and the psychological displacement at the end of the day puts them in a position that at the end of the day they may turn to criminals for no just reason that they are theirs. I want to find out how many of those investigations concerning diversion of those food materials by internally well-placed people have you handled? And in what measure and means will you make sure that you provide the necessary education and make sure that all the necessary tools that will protect the provision of those materials that they need will get to them within the real time? Thank you.
The nominee, you may proceed a few answers. Oh, let me just add one. Senator Mongunu, add your question so that you can take it all together.
Distinguished Senate President, distinguished senators, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. I am asking this question against the background of the fact that I am coming from Borno North, which is the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency and massive displacement of people occasioned by the Boko Haram insurgency. We thank God as a result of the political will, determination, as well as sacrifice and enthusiasm displayed by the Nigerian military. Boko Haram has been decimated and our people are now returning back to their communities to pick the pieces of their lives. As somebody that has served previously in 2 agencies that are humanitarian related, parabencho, if you are confirmed and Mr. President deemed it fit to force you to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, what steps are you going to take with a view to assisting our people that have been earlier displaced but are now returning back to their respective communities? What steps are you going to take with a view to giving them succor and ameliorating their life so that they can pick the pieces of their lives? Thank you.
Yes, the nominee, you may answer those questions whilst we await others.
The President of the Senate, distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the migration problems in Nigeria are multidimensional, evolving, and dynamic. And that also describes the kind of migration issues we have with the Republic of Niger. We have Nigerian refugees, the majority of the Nigerian refugees are in the Republic of Niger. We also have issues of irregular migration, human trafficking, smuggling of migrants. Also in Niger, we have a clearing center that hosts predominantly Nigerians that have been evacuated from Europe and are in that center awaiting clearance to come back to Nigeria. We do not have a budget line for repatriation in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's something that we must consider. because presently we rely on the IOM to bring back our citizens home. In demonstrating commitment, we have to work with border communities, we have to work with host communities, and we have to work with these countries, these border countries, to ensure that we have a comprehensive plan and a mutual legal agreement around our migration issues. In my response to the second question, on the number of IDPs or IDP centers in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is a bit clandestine because of the way it happens. Our migration problems is as a result of man-made disasters, which are the conflicts, the banditry, terrorism, and also the natural disasters, which we cannot control, climate change, which is predominantly our problem. After the flood of the end of last year, we doubled the number of IDPs from about 3-point-something million to over 5 million IDPs. That is an issue of concern. As a country, we're very good in responding to emergencies, but we're not very good in addressing consequences or root causes. And it's something that we must do collectively as a people. Predominantly of our IDPs are in host communities. We do have camps, but we try to discourage camps. But the National Commission for Refugee Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is the Durable Solution Agencies. NEMA handles the relief materials, but the Refugee Commission, we handle the reintegration, rehabilitation, and resettlement of displacements in Nigeria. And we ensure that we make use of scarce resources, which are hardly available. In my response to the third question, I'm excited to tell you that Borno State government has a 25 years plan for the rehabilitation of persons of concerns. And if I have the opportunity, I will align to that plan and will support other states to come up with their own plan. There's no state in the Federal Republic of Nigeria that doesn't have displacement issues or migration issues or their own persons of concerns due to various reasons. Given the opportunity, we'll be able to address the major challenges around that sector, namely the issue of data. We're addressing issues for human beings. We must have data, and also the issue of cohesion and coordination, and also the issue of stakeholder engagement. I thank you so much.
So, our dear nominee, you've answered a lot of questions, but I would like to ask you just the last one. You were in charge of NAPTIP, National, for
NAPTIP is the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. So it's the only agency in Nigeria, the law enforcement agency that safeguards human rights in Nigeria. They're also the custodians of the VAP Act. So we have two acts domiciled with the NAPTIP.
How successful will you say you were in coping the incidents of human trafficking when you had the opportunity? Because you have answered the one on being a federal commissioner in respect of refugees, migrants, and internally displaced persons. But as chairperson of NAPTIP, what can you just point out were your major achievements, or can you give us a percentage of the success rates of NAPTIP under you?
Mr. President, when I arrived in NAPTIP, we lost most of our partnerships due to the way we handled them in the past. No country can fight human trafficking in isolation because it's a cross-border offense. I was in NAPTIP for only 6 months, but before I left, I had regained almost 99% of our partnerships. I had been able to gain partnerships confidence. They gave us cases. We have mutual legal agreements with the Europe and with other countries that have human trafficking challenges. Nigeria is a country of destination, transit, and also country of origin. And that's why our migration situation is very complex. But I think the major achievement from my stay in NAPTIP is the repositioning of the agency, making sure that the staff were committed to serving. When I got there, there was very low morals, and then the staff didn't feel appreciated, especially because their welfare packages were low. But I was able to kind of excite them. I was able to build that team spirit, and I was able to even spread into states, because you can't fight human trafficking without being present. So we're able to spread into states, work with state government, form state task forces, because this would entail all the players around addressing that challenge for communities being in that task force. We're able to inaugurate about 18 of them. We're able to work with states to sign the Child Rights Acts, the VAP Acts. We're able to also get the Nigerian rating, the US trafficking rating from Tier 2 watch list to Tier 2, which saves us from getting sanctions or suspensions. Thank you, Mr. President.
So during that period, do you recall any madam in Italy, or any madam in Paris, or any madam in Poland being prosecuted as a result of not just trafficking? They carry teenagers and underage children to Congo, Brazzaville, and other places under the guise of going to give them education, but they put them under pains of prostitution and debase womanhood. Do you remember your organization prosecuting some of those madams? You know what I mean? The queen pins in the trade.
At the end of my stay at NAPTIP, we were able to prosecute over 300 cases. The most significant one, or the most celebrated one, was was that of one madam in the UK, because it was in collaboration with the British government. She was prosecuted from the UK. The crime she committed was in Germany, and her assets are still undergoing confiscation. And she was being caught in Edo State, partnering with Interpol and other relevant agencies.
I did not want to mention Edo State because of Oshimole, but now I think you can take a bow. Take a bow.
That was the fourth female to be screened, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim from Nasarawa State. She is the 14th in all. The University of Abuja graduate of sociology is keen on humanitarian programs. If confirmed, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim says she will focus on poverty alleviation, youth empowerment. She will contribute immensely to the hope agenda of Mr. President. Well, the senators asked her major achievement during her stay in NAPTIP. She explained that over 300 cases were prosecuted during her 6 months duration in NAPTIP. We expect that the next nominee that will be coming up now is acted.
So the order paper, and of course I will step them down till the next legislative day. And well, I guess may I move first that the Senate revert back to plenary for the chairman to report progress.
The minority leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I will rise to second the motion moved by the leader of the Senate, that the Senate hereby resolve back to plenary to report.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Those who are in support that the Senate reverts to plenary, to report progress say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Well, at the moment, Senate has reverted to plenary for the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, to report progress to the House.
Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, for the confirmation of some nominees for appointment as ministers of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. About 14 nominees answered questions from distinguished senators on a number of topical issues, and thereafter the Senate deferred the issue of further approvals to the next legislative date. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Having exhausted all items on the order paper, the Senate is hereby adjourned to Tuesday, the first day of August 2023 at 11 a.m. prompt.
NTA, you can't beat Deutsch.
This is the network service of the NTA.
The hands that mold and shape the economies of nations around the world do not extend from shoulders covered by white-collar shirts and three-piece suits. A large chunk of the gross domestic product (GDP) of developing countries is contributed by blue-collar sectors, otherwise called the informal sector.
Trying to see, starting up top, identifying again what are the problems.
According to a World Bank report in 2021, 80.4% of Nigeria's employments are in the informal sector, under which artisans, technicians, and informal service providers are classified. It is saddening to know that despite the huge potentials of the informal sector in growing Nigeria's economy, very little attention is given to the functionality of players in the sector, including artisans, technicians, and vocational professionals.
They are the movers of microeconomy of any nation. They are service providers to the economy, and they are in huge number, but nobody cares about them over the years. That is why they are faced with a lot of problems. Curricula, the agencies established to look after them are not doing what they are supposed to do. They don't even care about them. Some of the artisans are not even aware of them.
They only pick some people, gather them, give them little money, and say that those are the artisans. Example, you take somebody that is not an artisan, you say you are training him or her for 2 months, as you want to empower the person. At the end of the day, when giving tools to them, they have just went out and said because they don't know the value. But if the real artisan was being trained and empowered, it will bring more development and encourage to the economy of this country. Like tailoring, fashion, garments, like leather works, shoemaker, bag makers. It will bring more markets, and Nigeria will become a production, not a consumer, and it will help our economy to grow.
In his clear discernment of the enormous contributions of vocational professionals and technicians to Nigeria's economy and indeed politics, the national patron of the Association of Nigeria Artisans and Technicians and director of the Directorate of Artisans and Technicians under the Presidential Campaign Council of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Right Honorable Sanusi Garba Rikiji, saw the need to engage artisans and technicians in an operation tagged Operation 30-30-30, inaugurated on the 10th of December 2022, with the aim of pulling massive votes for the candidate of the APC in the 2023 presidential election, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Let me especially invite the co-director and convener, sponsor of this event, the former Speaker of the Zamfara State Government, former Commissioner of Finance, don't stand up, please. Former Special Advisor, former Acting Governor of Zamfara State, the former Chief of Staff, Right Honorable Sanusi Garba Rikichi.
Do you know that it is the artisan that are supposed to be running the economy of this country? Do you know that? That is how important you are to the country. Any country in the world today, it is the artisan that run the economy of the country. And that is why we are very happy for recognizing us at this level, for recognizing us right now from the beginning.
This is the first time in history of this country I'm seeing something like this.
This is to tell you that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Shatima are ready to move this nation forward economically. I'm sure the caliber of people here, different chapters of different artisans that are converged here today, have a lot for this country. And in one way or the other, you must patronize them.
I appreciate you. I want to appreciate everybody. Not for only donating this beautiful building, but also for organizing and bringing this crowd. I have been going to other directorates launching. This is the first one I've seen this kind of crowd.
During the launching of that Operation 30-30, which was a very special voting pattern which we applied to ensure that Asiwaju succeed, we really mobilized and bring together about 100,000 officials. We selected officials from various states, 36 states of the Federation, because we cannot bring in all the registered artisans in the country. We have over 7.5 million registered artisans and technicians across the country. So we tried to pick officials from the 774 local government and from 36 states across. And we make up about 100,000 who were in Abuja assembled on the 10th December for the launching of that Operation 30-30-30, which has been a great success. Today we are proud of it.
Operation 30-30. We shall make it possible for all our members to mobilize 30 artisans per polling unit across the entire 176,864 police across the country. I can tell you that that particular project was achieved up to 85 to 90%, because we can feel the impact of that particular strategy in the outcome and the result of the last election.
My brothers and sisters, technicians and artisans of this country, consider this as an honor for us to be recognized and be given a whole direct plate. It means Baba has all of us at heart, and it means Baba wants to replicate what he has done in Lagos to Nigeria as a whole.
Aside from being the brain behind the launch and success of Operation 30-30-30 in the 2023 presidential election, Right Honorable Rikiji also supported the campaign and resulting victory of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in other notable ways, including the donation of an entire building complex in Abuja, Zamfara and Katsina for the presidential campaign of Asiwaju.
We took this Operation 30-30 and moved into the South-South, which was kind of more challenging area for the APC, as it was a PDP-dominated region, but God gave us victory. In a very nutshell, you can see that the number of votes given to APC from South-South has never been to this number before. This was the result of the Operation 30-30 that was introduced by artisan and technician.
Sana'ar hannu dukkan mun san kanmu yadda muke tafiya a jihar Borno da kuma arewa gaba daya. Duk wanda muka kira a nan ƴan uwanmu ne masu sana'ar hannu kamar mu, mafi yawan ba ma'aikacin gwamnati. Sai mun fita muke samu abin da za mu ci mu tallafa a kanmu.
We converge and bring together almost 100,000 artisans from different states to Abuja. You know how massive that will be, how expensive that could be from all over that state to bring 100,000 artisans and convert them in Abuja. You put most of them in a hotel room, you pay for their transportation, their feeding, smaller things like that. For what purpose? For the sake of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just for the artisan to vote for him and work for him. Look at what we call our office now, our corporate office now. It was donated by Kiji to Ashwaji project, and that now is now as Artisans corporate office in Abuja, in that area, that central area. You will know how expensive a room or a flat in that area could be. Doctors of giving you a whole building as your office. So apart from that, whatever we want to do as artisans is always ready already. It's been taking us out, discussing our matter with
hotel bills and the feeding. For 3 days he did that.
He did a lot by putting in his resources and channel all his energy to ensure that artisans are mobilized to campaign and massively vote for Ashwaju. Even after the elections, Rikiji had continued to work hard, that continued to ensure he projects the interests of artisans to the government. And with his effort and the effort of the entire artisans in Nigeria, we are positive that something good will come out from this new administration.
While commenting on his motivation for being so invested in working for the success of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election, Right Honorable Rikiji described the president as a leader par excellence, whose track record is in the eyes of all, adding that it is worthy service to pledge his support to such a man as Bola Tinubu.
Nobody is doubting the leadership quality of Ashwaju. He has been in the corridors of power. He has been a politician. He has been a senator since way back 1992, 93, 2 times governor of Lagos State. He has been all around in the political arena of this country. And is one gifted man that has succeeded to leave a legacy that no one had left so far in the history of Nigeria since independence. Wherever you look at, or whatever sector you look at, you find the footprint of Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu that he has made something there. Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given so much to Nigerian people, and I'm one of them. And what I'm doing today is just to pay back in my little way. It's just like giving a father a collar, Baba take collar, to be part of, his mission, his cause for a success. But Ashwaju is everything to us. He has been with my boss over the years, Abdul Hakim Femi Bajabiamila. Not only he made me his chief of staff, my relationship with Femi Bajabiamila today and the entire Bajabiamila's family is far beyond having worked together from the north end here to the southwest. So for me, it's just a feedback moment, giving a little, in my little way, to Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
He's a man manager. He's a sage. He's an intelligent person, a fast thinker, someone who knows what to do, even ahead of time. In year 2001, Ashwaju was the first governor that created a kind of agency that would train artisans in Lagos State. I was part of that first training. We were sent for training. After the training, we were being empowered with substantial amount of money.
Honorable Rikiji, passion and deep love for Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his deep conviction that millions of Nigerian artisans and technicians, through their deep-rooted structure and entrepreneurship base,
While describing Right Honorable Rikiji as a strong pillar of support to the association, the national president and coordinator of ASNAT, Comrade Adeshina Alfred Akinyemi, and other executive members of ASNAT expressed optimism that the incoming administration will see to all of the challenges bedeviling the association and its members across the country.
If I say a pillar, it's an understatement. If I say a God, it's an overstatement. But it's between a pillar and a God. So I can only say he's the father of modern-day Nigerian artisan, because he's been helpful from the very first time that we got to know him as the director of artisan, also the PCC, to this very moment. He has taken this artisanic project as his own, carrying us everywhere he's going. We believe that with this new and incoming administration, things will turn better and we will be happy.
We have no doubt that when we stick with Right Honorable Sanusi Rikiji, our aspirations to get recognition by the federal government through the creation of a proper directorate or an agency that will cater to the needs of technicians and artisans in Nigeria will be created.
Through the concept of informal sector. So we know that we're going to do that. Actually, we create a platform and a conducive environment for us to thrive. And when you make Nigerian artisans successful entrepreneur, definitely your GDP will grow. And that was what we were doing in Lagos.
Other artisans who are members of ASNAT also lamented the challenges they face in their line of work, while also pleading for necessary support to ASNAT and her numerous members.
One of the first things we have as a very big issue is electricity. You know, it cuts across all sectors of the government as a matter of our livelihood and our businesses in all ramifications. But I think we are more affected because we spend so much money on trying to get power and trying to get fuel. We have come to a position where if you have hard work, it helps you. The degree so many people have now is not really helping them, but trying to add up a vocational something to your life helps a lot. And if the incoming government will be able to work on that, honestly, half of Nigerian problems, most of the youth will be out of the streets.
If the new government will be able to empower us, I'll be very happy. I'll be very happy. We lack materials here.
Àwọn tó ń ṣe skill acquisition tó máa pè wá pé ká wá ṣe skills wọ́n á pè wá wọ́n ní fún wa ní nǹkan kan ó yẹ kán provide irinṣẹ́ fún wa kán fún wa kí iṣẹ́ wa lè lọ déédéé àwọn tá dẹ̀ ń gba loan lọ́wọ́ wọn yìí náà a máa apply fún loan ó máa pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ kan tó fún wa wọ́n á tún put wa through àwọn processing kan tó jẹ́ kó máa tún jagbára wa lọ still yet náà wọ́n tún ní padà fún wa ní loan yẹn à ń rọ ìjọba wa kán ṣàánú wa ní aspect ibẹ̀ yẹn kán bá wa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ ní rọrùn kó máa ṣe déédéé fún wa.
Waɗansu koyon siyasa ko waɗansu daga ɗaya da su samu fice ko kuma su nemi mu sake siya. Yana da ko muke yi yana a taimaka mana don mu samu mu tallafa da mu da yayanmu especially yara masu koya aiki ya kamata mu don samu abin da muna salame su babu.
Thank you so much. When we had all that Honorable Sanusi Rikiji promised and said, we decided to team up. In this case, we are expecting that the government will carry us along and give us appropriate allocation that is needed for the technicians and professional artisans in this country. Like every other country, each department, each association is supposed to be operated by a body with licensing body. Not every Dick and Harry, they should treat us as they will treat medical, pharmacists, lawyers, and all that.
Members of ASNAT,
This is further etched on the sands of time. as Right Honorable Rikiji held a special press conference congratulating the President-elect and the APC on the 10th of May 2023, while also echoing the demands of ASNAT for the urgent overhaul of all agencies created to seize the growth of Nigerian artisans, giving them the leeway to operate and man strategic positions relevant to their functionality in the country. They earnestly hope that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will give ears to the voice of the artisans and Nigerians at large.
As movers of Nigerians' microeconomy and service providers, we have been so much neglected in the previous administrations, and agencies that are saddled with the responsibility to look after the functionality of Nigerian artisans and technicians in the country. We pray for more wisdom for him as he leads Nigeria into a flourishing nation.
In his reaction to the pleas and calls for support by ASNAT, Right Honorable Rikiji assured the association of his continued support and promised to see to the resolution of their problems.
I want to assure all the constraints, all the difficulties that is being faced by Nigerian artisans. President-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu acknowledge the contribution of Nigerian artisans, and surely he is determined to change the face, and they will see the difference going forward.
Indeed, the painstaking efforts of Right Honorable Sanusi Garba Rikiji in contributing to the victory of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election will no doubt be carved in stone in the annals of history.
The 7.5 million artisans and technicians that are registered in Nigeria today, I want to assure you that what Baba means, most of you here, next year by this time, you are already building factories. And he mean it, because that is the only way we can increase productivity in this country. That is the only way we can reduce importation. That is the only way we can create jobs. And that is the only way we can address insecurity. Most of our insecurity is about hunger.
The hope for better days ahead is renewed for all Nigerians and indeed artisans and technicians, with the reassuring promises pledged for fulfillment by Asiwaju in the days to come.
I want to charge you to keep up the good work. Please do not rest. The journey has just started. The work has started.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Why you dey buy fake product make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live, buy original. You should know where to go, the SOS.
Stop foreigners from taking over our businesses and depriving our youths sources of livelihood. Local manufacturers tell federal government as the Standards Organization of Nigeria emphasizes on the imperatives of standards. This was at a sensitization organized by the Standards Organization of Nigeria in Lagos. We have details of that stakeholders forum after this short message. Please stay with us.
Let's palm it. What is PALM? PALM, Product Authentication Mark, is a new product launched by the Standards Organization of Nigeria to protect Nigerian consumers against fake and substandard products, to assure us all of genuine SUN-certified products and guarantee value for money. So before you purchase any item, make sure you check for the PALM sticker. To PALM, send code to 281 or download Sun PALM app on Play Store or iOS to scan QR code to authenticate the product. It is that simple. Before purchase of any SUN-regulated product, PALM it. Standard Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards. For more information, visit www.sun.gov.ng.
Ihe na ka ị ga-ene anya mgbe ọbụla ijere igo igwe eji ala ụlọ. Nke izizi bụ ịfụ na afọ onye lụrụ igwe a dịkwana ya. Nke ịbụọ bụ ụbọchị alụlụ igwe a ọ dịkwa na igwe ahụ eji ala ụlọ. Nke atọ bụ ogologo igwe ahụ. Ọ na-adị 12 na mita. Nke anọ bụ ọkpụrụkpụ ya. Ọ na-adị 8 na milimita, 20 na milimita, 40 na milimita. Nke ọbụla onye na-ego, ọ ga-eji elili tụọ ya ụdọ iji wee ka o wee doo ya anya na ihe ọ na-ego bụ SOL na-akwalite ndụ.
Welcome to Standard and You. It's your guide to product quality and safety. We begin the program by telling you that some manufacturers in the country say the disturbing influx of foreigners into the nation's retail market, if not checked, will have adverse effect on the nation's industrial sector.
The government will help us. They will help us and fight the battle. Because they are trying to take over our nation and push us aside. Somebody, as I'm talking, I borrow money from microfinance. I pay interest, I pay workers, I pay rentage.
I pay my tax. And at the end of the day, they will bring low quality of stone tiles and crush the price.
We cannot help ourselves. I don't know how the government is going to help us.
They made this known at a sensitization put together by the Standards Organization of Nigeria in Lagos. Standard and You was there.
These are producers of paints and galvanized primary and secondary roofing sheets, as well as importers of goods. This forum was in furtherance of the Standards Organization of Nigeria's strategic public enlightenment campaign on the benefits of standards.
We must interact. Interaction is key. If you don't understand what we mean by low gauge, those of you who are practicing, we believe in your knowledge. Bring it to bear. Discuss with us. Whatever problem and challenge you have, bring it forward. It will be taken straight to the Director General. So please, utilize this opportunity, listen carefully, understand well, and go about and do the right things and ensure that you import only standard products, standard gauge, as far as aluminium roofing sheet is concerned. And for those in the manufacturing industry, as regards to paint, you know what I mean. When it rains, your product will be tested. When the sunshine comes, your product will be tested. If you achieve standard, or if you put in everything that is required to attain standard in your products, it can withstand all these elements, all these vagaries of nature challenges.
The whole idea, according to the Director General of the SON, Malam Farouk Salim, who was represented at the occasion by Director Southwest Region, Yesterday Akinlabi, was to entrench a culture of quality, fairness and best practices among local producers of goods.
The organization is calling on stakeholders in the aluminium roofing sheets and paint sectors to please adhere strictly to standard quality parameters during production. The compliance to the requirements of this standard is what will give you certification. The objective is actually to encourage excellent quality products and healthy competition among stakeholders. I want to advise the leadership of these sectors to show leadership commitment, analyze both factory and market samples, create consumer awareness, and engage in regular trainings and voluntary competition to ensure quality. We expect a good operating environment that will engender best practices, as this will be a morale booster for people working for you. To the consumers, do not buy any market product without the MANCAP logo. That logo, as I said earlier, is the certification logo. It is a logo of quality. It does not matter where it comes from. It is a sign that the product has not been certified if it does not have the MANCAP logo. We are not just interested in selling and implementing the standard, but also want to expand your businesses. That is why we have standards that will actually guide your production. We want to collaborate with you to make it easier for SON to implement and enforce standards by giving us information on infractions.
The Director General, who lamented the negative impact substandard products have had and continue to have on the economy, told the roofing sheet producers to resist the temptation to compromising on quality, adding that it's one sure way of ensuring the survival of their businesses. In spite of the precarious situation, he urged the importers and producers to put the interest of the country first and above self. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, working with the renewed government's determination, he noted, is committed to protecting local industrialists from unfair competition. A lot, he disclosed, is being done to expand government support to local manufacturers. Director, National Meteorology Institute, NMI, of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Engineer Onucheyo Enebi, took the first paper. He spoke on the standards of roofing sheets and why it's important for manufacturers and importers to adhere strictly to the standards of the products. Group Head, Chemical Technology of the SON, provided insights on the standards for paint.
As a small boy, my father as a civil servant built a house. That house he built in a village. The steel sheet that he used in roofing the house is what is there till today. Do we have such product in the market now? Why? Do we know why the product is still serving us? Because number one, the base metal thickness is what was required by the standard. The coating was done to the right level. You understand? It can withstand the rain, it can withstand the wind, it can withstand the sun. It's good for our environment. But what you sell to us today, most of them don't meet our desired needs. It's a shadow of what we used to get before. Roofing sheet must be able to stand the test of time. And that is why we have taken the pain to gather all of you together to discuss the technical requirements for this product, for stone coated, for profile aluminum roofing sheet. We discussed all that. Step type, name whatever type we're talking about. We have discussed it and we have agreed on what to do. Today we all know that the minimum thickness of base metal for profile aluminum roofing sheet is what? Who can tell me? Among the manufacturers, yes? Thank you. 0.4. But what do we get in the market? Even with coating, it's less than 0.4. With coating, it's less than 0.4. So please, we need to toe the path of honor. The path of honor is to ensure that if the minimum thickness of base metal is 0.4, and then after you coat, we are expected to see more than 0.4 as the overall thickness of the roofing sheet.
Government has allowed the micro, small, medium enterprise to the large and the very large to produce paint. You can produce, everybody here. So we now have so many productions, some produced in their kitchen and their backyards. Government allowed it. We must do business. But now in the production, people are not doing the right thing. Before you start production, even if you are going to do it at the back of your house. And why? Because production of paint is like cooking. It's just put every ingredient and you mix. Even if you are going to do that, the first thing you must do is to find out the standard for that product you are producing. You must get a copy. Go through it, check the requirements of that standard. Then you know what and what you need, and then you start your production. And as you produce, you check. You do the quality control testing before you do your quality assurance. But people just mix. They think you can just mix and pour in containers, and then you just put into the public for use. The Paint Manufacturers Association, I want to appreciate them for coming together and gathering all paint manufacturers. It should be all paint manufacturers that should belong to this association, because they consistently collaborate with some in the standard drafting, ensuring that there is no compromise to the quality of products. They create awareness, relevance, economic development to the nation. So when paint manufacturers say they are not able to do this, to do that, they have an association, paint manufacturers, whether individual. You have an association that you can group people together. You can group to have a place where you do your quality test. 3 people can come together, associate themselves, register it to carry out quality tests in production. If you say an individual cannot get all the required equipment. But before your product can come out, it must be tested to bench it with the requirements of the standard. And it is when it passes the requirements of the standard that you can now release it for consumption.
It was an interactive session which afforded participants the opportunity to seek clarifications on critical parameters of the standards and the essence of observing best practices in a competitive market like Nigeria. There were questions from participants bordering on the need to review some areas of standards for both products and the impact of substandard products on their businesses.
0 point, we wrote a letter sometimes last year asking some to consider using 0.3 as the minimum for roofing. Because presently, as I'm telling you, people roof their houses in Nigeria with 0.2, 0.23, 2.4. I don't believe in that. If you come to my factory as I'm talking now, you can't get that. And about 80% of people here, you won't get it in their factory because we belong to the association and we are fighting it in between ourselves. But business-wise now, I've invested money in a factory. I have about 25 workers. And I come to my factory and I sit down, I fold my hands every day, not selling. I have responsibilities. I have obligations to meet. Someone that we are doing the same business but does not belong to the association, which I don't have control over, is bringing lesser gains and is swallowing to the bank. He's picking his bills. I am forming righteousness, and I can't pick my bills. I can't pay my students a salary at will. I can send my children to school. I can't do what I need to do. What do you expect me to? I will bend a little. And that was why we came back to some and said, look, give us a minimum standard of 0.30. If you give us that, you will help us a lot. And we push at our meeting, look, if what all of us are selling as a minimum is 0.30, if you come to me and I say it's 1,000 naira per meter, if you go to Mr. B, 1,000 per meter, of course we will sell what we are selling now. But if I am stick by 0.40 as a minimum, if someone brings in 0.23, and in a month he sells over 5 containers, while I'm grabbing to sell ordinary 10 tons in a month, that is the major problem we have.
But the thing is painful and we cannot compete. My colleague in Ghana, will not have this tankers or whatever to import any material. So I want you to look at this. Says political change is political thing. The second thing I want to say is that we've been having dialogue with some and things like that. For mountain manufacturer in Nigeria, we have in Lagos over 1,200. But those that we be on the list of man, they are less than 25. So the burden of standard, maintenance standard is on those 25 outfits. And we start the same market. So there's no way or when Sanstana can go to the market and do IOSA. We tried under the president before. And the thing is, the presidency said then that the emphasis of government is for employment. So don't touch them. And we said, well, if the president says, he says, don't touch them, well, we saw don't touch them. But the reality has come that, and I keep on saying to my colleagues in the paint industry, if you continue to make substandard product to the market, you are destroying the market for yourself. And that's why we have alternative now. Go to any in Ministerial, we have the PVC that are taking over. That would be about 20% of the volume. That thing, the ceiling, it's gone. You will see profile aluminium going into exterior building now. You have tiles. So, amongst ourselves, we have discussed that amongst ourselves. And we have made up our mind that whatever it takes, give standard product to protect our industry. Otherwise, we are all deep.
For the man that complained that people are bringing in products and you are not selling, why those bringing in substandard are selling? If you get such information, you can anonymously send us that information and watch what we will do. That is one. Then, for your own case, when you write requesting for a review of the standard, it is not because you write automatically the standard will be changed. No. It will be sent to all the relevant stakeholders, your sector, the academicians, the users, the consumers, everybody, everybody, the standard will be sent to them. We'll get their comments, collate this comment, and we must have the agreement from the majority that yes, there is need to review this standard. Then the meeting, before the meeting can be called. That is the process we are in right now. So just be patient.
We didn't ignore your letter, but everything has a process. This event will be reported two ways. One will go into the general platform of SON. The other one will be reported direct to federal government. So all these things that will be raised here will be covered. We are not here to joke. If at the end of the day you didn't get angry, then my effort is wasted. If at the end of the day nobody talked about the impact of the economy to individual traders and traders collectively, that means this effort is wasted. The sensation is like the vaccine. You are sensitizing your immune system. We are here to sensitize ourselves. We sensitize you, you sensitize us. We go back and look inward in retrospect. We understand what they are facing and see the government is not set up SON to suppress our traders, our indigenous manufacturers. SON is set up to protect them and guide them. Those that want to from trading to manufacturing, SON will help them and give them, just as you said, you can buy the standard book and know what to do to import correctly and what to do to manufacture correctly. But you cannot do this successfully with all the problems we are talking about now. So I assure you that everything you said now and the letter you wrote will resurrect and will be used this time. So I want more people to say their mind. We are taking note.
Of great concern to the local producers was the influx of foreigners, especially from China, into the retail market. They say a situation where a foreigner imports large consignment and disposes same at the retail level is no longer acceptable. While corroborating the concerns of local producers, the special assistant to the DG of the SON, Chief Emeka Duru, frowned at the development and assured the traders and local importers of government's intervention to protect local genuine businesses.
People that import, particularly the foreigners, their countries give them good incentive. They bring these products to Nigeria as people that bring it as wholesalers. But there are value shares, there are distributors. You sell it to the distributors who will now retail. You cannot be a wholesaler and then you retail at the same time. You will shock out our indigenous traders. And SON is created to also protect not just our manufacturers, but our traders. Don't be a wholesaler and also be a retailer. I would even advise you and encourage you to bring the equipment to the country and manufacture here and employ labor, employ people.
According to him, government through Standards Organization of Nigeria will continue to come up with measures to protecting indigenous manufacturers and promote quality to ensure that consumers get value for their money. The sensitization continues.
Ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi, ẹ kú kalẹ̀. Nígbà gbogbo tẹ́ bá ti fẹ́ ra eré ìkọ́lé lọ́jà, àwọn nǹkan mẹ́rin yìí ó ṣe pàtàkì fún yín láti ti mọ ètò jẹ́ ojúlówó. Àkọ́kọ́, orúkọ iléeṣẹ́ tó ṣe irin náà. Èkejì, ọjọ́ tí wọ́n ṣe irin yẹn. Ẹ̀kẹta, ó ní àlàjá irin yẹn ó ṣe pàtàkì àlàjá. Fún àpẹẹrẹ, àlàjá eléyìí ní ó ní mìlímítà 10. Nítorí náà ẹ wò ó yẹ kó pé mìlímítà 10. Tó bá dẹ̀ rú yín lójú, ẹ lè sọ fún àwọn ọlọ́jà yẹn kó bá yín fi ẹ̀rọ kó fi wọ́n. Kò gbúdọ̀ dín ní mìlímítà 10. Ẹ̀kẹrin ni gígùn irin náà. Gígùn irin yẹn ò gbúdọ̀ dín ní mítà 12. Tí a bá ra ohun tó tọ́, a ní ohun tó dára. SON, ìtẹ̀síwájú ènìyàn nípa ìpè wọn.
Welcome back. I'll be sharing 5 standard tips on life-endangering products. Ensure proper handling and right usage of the product. Do not gamble with your life. Put quality over quantity when making a purchase. Be vigilant. Know when they expire and seek a professional for guidance. Ensure proper handling and right usage of the product. Do not manage the product if it is defective. It is risky. We've come to the end of the program this week and look forward to having you join us next time for a fresh edition. Thanks for being part of the program. See you next time. Bye.
Why you dey buy fake product, make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live. Buy original. You should know where to go. The SOS.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Taste.
OVMA.
Oh, I wish you were here.
I'm always with you.
But it's not the same without you.
MTN 5G's amazing technology will change how we experience life and the internet. Get ready to encounter the incredible and remember, no be juju, na MTN 5G.
barbecue. Unwrap joy. Unleash taste.
Hard to find, but they're still heavy on my mind tonight. The pain is deep inside, but I still want to hide. Happy birthday!
Is this what you really want to do?
Yes, Dad. That's what I've been trying to show you.
Fight for your dreams the advanced way with Glow LTE Advanced. The power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
This is the network service of the NTA.
This is the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, addresses the nation.
My fellow citizens, I want to talk to you about our economy. It is important that you understand the reasons for the policy measures I have taken to combat the serious economic challenges this nation had long faced. I'm not going to talk in difficult terms by dwelling on economic jargon and concepts. I will speak in plain, clear language so that you know where I stand. More importantly, so that you see and hopefully will share my vision regarding the journey to a better, more productive economy for our beloved country. For several years, I have consistently maintained the position that the fuel subsidy had to go. This once beneficial measure had outlived its usefulness. The subsidy cost us trillions of naira yearly, such as a vast sum of money would have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security. Instead, it was being funneled into the deep pocket and lavish bank account of a selected group of individuals. This group had amassed so much wealth and power that they became a serious threat to the fairness of our economy and the integrity of our democratic governance. To be blunt, Nigeria could never become the society it was intended to be as long as such small, powerful, yet unelected groups hold enormous influence over our political economy and the institutions that govern it. The whims of the few should never hold dominant sway over the hopes and aspirations of the many. If we are to be a democracy, the people
and not the power of money, must be sovereign. The preceding administration saw this looming danger as well. Indeed, it made no provision in the 2023 appropriation for subsidy after June this year. Removal of this once helpful device that had transformed into a millstone around the country's neck had become inevitable. Also, the multiple exchange rate, the system that had been established became nothing but a highway of currency speculation. It diverted money that should have been used to create jobs, build